Hi, Bob here from Silver Fox Fitness. Welcome to How Am I Smart? Not how smart am I, but how am I smart? I have been an elementary teacher my whole life and a fitness instructor. And as an educator, I discovered early that maybe reading, writing, and arithmetic weren't the only way you could be smart. And so I thought, because some kids weren't too good at reading, writing, or arithmetic, but they were good at other things like gym class or art class or music class. So I thought, maybe I better research that. So I discovered a man by the name of Howard Gardner, and he was born in 1943. I believe he's still alive today. He was a developmental psychologist in the United States, working at Harvard University, on how the brain worked and how people could be smart if they wanted to. And reading, writing, and arithmetic weren't the only three ways, according to Howard Gardner. So I thought, this is very impressive. I'm going to read and study and learn all about this man and what he thinks, and then I'm going to apply all that information to the way I live my life and the way I teach others. So by the way, my fitness classes that I teach, and I have been for 30 years at the local YMCA, aren't your conventional way of experiencing a fitness class. You'd have to come to one of my classes, or maybe you could watch one of my many, many videos about exercise and about wellness. But back to this Howard Gardner guy. So I want to give you a gift. I want you to have a little piece of Howard Gardner's brain on a piece of paper. So you can look at it every day and go, you know what, if I wanted to be smarter, I could change the way I'm smart now to more ways. And Howard, he came up with, through his research, 8, possibly 9 different ways you could be smart. Not only reading, writing, and arithmetic, but 5, maybe even 6 more ways. And if you ever have a problem that you're trying to solve, and you're smart in all those 9 ways, or at least you know about them, you could probably get the problem solved pretty quickly, no matter what it was. Anyway, so I'm going to take Howard's information and put it into a little gift for you. So you're going to need an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and maybe some pencils or crayons or some colored writing utensils, okay? So I'll just pause the button here for a minute, and you can go and get that stuff, and then maybe get a drink of water while you're at it, and then come back, and then we can start. Okay, we're back. So you got your paper? Good. Let's just take the thing and fold it in half once, and be very precise, and really crease the edges of your paper, because that's important. And then fold it in half again. Crease the edges, and one more time. So you're folding it in half 3 times. Yes, we're going to be figuring out multiple intelligences, because that was Howard Gardner's thing. He had a theory on how people could be smart if they wanted to. Multiple intelligences, not just reading, writing, and arithmetic. So anyway, we got this thing folded in half 3 times. Let's refold it along the same creases the other way to get it really, really creased really well. Okay, push down the edges. Okay, should open it a little bit, maybe fold it backwards so I can recrease it along the same edges. Are you mixed up yet? You can get somebody around you to help you if you want. I'm going to fold it the other way, get it really creased well. Because maybe somebody understands what I'm saying better than you do, because they're using different intelligences to solve this problem, and so they can help. Anyway, maybe I should open it up one more time and go this way again, but in the opposite direction. Get that crease really creased well. Good. All right. So now we're going to take that paper and look at it and see how many rectangles. Yep. 2, 4, 6, 8 rectangles, 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom. So you see that crease right through the middle there? Not this way, but from this edge to that edge, we're going to tear that. No scissors allowed. So let's fold it like a tent. Get the top of the tent, and along the edge, just very carefully, tear it down one side of the rectangle, like that. Don't tear it right in half. So now when you open it up, and it looks like a tent, you've got a little space at the top here for the smoke to come out of your tent, just in case it's cold when you're camping and you need to have a fire on the inside, see? So that's the way your tent's going to sit, like so, with the hole at the top. And if you push it together, because you creased it really well, it becomes a book. Right? And let's see, we've got the cover, and then we've got page 1. Get that colored utensil there and put a little 1 up in the top left-hand corner. Then there's page 2. So it looks like that, page 1 and 2. Flip it over, you got 3 and 4. And then flip it one more time. If you're having trouble, remember if there's somebody around, 5 and 6, they can help you. And then the last page is page 7. Good. Right? But the cover, what are we going to call this? We're going to call it, I know. How am I smart? Not how smart am I, but how am I smart? So how am I smart? It's a question. How am I smart? Put that on the front of your book. And your name. Rob. Got it? Good. Now, on page 1, we're going to put the word music, different color, at the top of page 1. Now, we're using the word music because Howard Gardner believed, after all his years of research, that your brain could be really, really talented when it comes to music. Besides reading, writing, and arithmetic, music was one of them. So music at the top. And you know what? I think what we'll do here is we'll put the word, we'll put the word music there, and then we'll draw a treble clef. That's a pretty universal music symbol. Then number 2, talk. Howard discovered that some people are talkers and other people are listeners. And some people like to talk a lot. Okay, so talk at the top. And I think for our symbol, we'll use a mouth with a tongue hanging out of it. Okay? And then number 3, all right, words. Remember the reading, writing, and arithmetic? The words? Right, and so for words, I think we'll put, we'll make a book. You know, something like an open book. We keep our book open. Words. Some people are really good with words. They're smart with words. Other people, not so much. And number 4, I think number 4 is think. Yeah, thinking. Think. Some people are really good at problem solving. And the symbol will be an exclamation mark, question mark, and a period. For thinking. Problem solvers. Really good thinkers. And number 5, I think number 5 was fitness. We'll put fitness. It's really a body kind of intelligence. Fitness. We'll call it fitness. And for that, we'll just put maybe a barbell. Okay? That's when you are smart in ways of using your body. And number 6. Number 6. I think number 6 is sight. S-I-G-H-T. And let's have a pair of eyes for sight. Right? Because some people are really good visually. And number 7, feelings. And let's have a face again with a couple of eyes and some tears coming down. For sadness. Now, if you're smart through feelings, emotions, you're not just a person that can be sad all the time or even recognize others who are sad. You're just somebody that understands emotions. You have an emotional intelligence or a feelings intelligence. You can use the word emotional if you want. Okay? Good. Now, oh yes, and then Howard, he studied so much about how your brain works and how smart you could be if you wanted to, besides reading, writing, and arithmetic. And he came up with one more. So let's open up the book so that we've got the inside here that's empty. Right? And let's draw a picture of a cat. Make it simple. Make sure it's got whiskers and maybe a nice big tail. So your cat might be a cat, it might be a dog, or it might be something else, like a hamster or an elephant or something. But an animal on it. Because Howard found out that people, let's put the word animal, are animal smart. And remember, animals are anything that isn't a plant and isn't a rock. The rest of the stuff in the world are animals, like insects are animals. Things that are in the ocean are animals. Anyway, so animal smart. Really? Yes, right. I wonder if there's a course in school besides reading, writing, and arithmetic called animals. You want to go to the animal class? Well, Howard would say, yes, you do. You need to go there. Okay? So that's the 8th way. So we can put 8. That can be page 8, number 8, up in the corner here. Well, years went by, and then Howard thought, you know what? I think there's a 9th way that people can be smart if they wanted to. And that's when you use all the 8 together at the same time. Or maybe some of them, or most of them together at the same time. Maybe not all 8, but a lot of them at the same time. Some people can think that way. And that's called number 9. We'll put it down on the bottom here. It's a big fancy word called existential. I can't even spell it. I'm just going to put X. Existential. The X way. Maybe I'll put little arrows on the ends of my lines for the X, like a compass, pointing to all the different ways. Maybe I'll put 8 in the middle. So now I've got the 9th way is using all 8 at the same time, the existential way. So 9 different ways that you can be smart if you want to. Let's put it back into the book. There. There's my title. Feelings is the number 7 way. Number 3 is words. Let's see if we can find reading, writing, and arithmetic. Well, reading would be words, number 3, right? And writing would be words again, because we're usually writing words. Sometimes we're drawing pictures. But, which would be sight, symbols and pictures. But, reading and writing are kind of the same thing in pictures. I know when I was in high school, in elementary school, we had gym class from kindergarten to grade 8. And we had art too. But we really weren't too worried about passing to the next grade unless we got a good score in reading and writing and arithmetic, numbers. And numbers isn't even in here. But numbers could be the think one. Could be. Number 4. Holy cats. So, one more thing. Get another color. I'm going to use yellow. And I'm going to turn to page 1 here. And I'm going to think about myself. Now, am I musical? Well, I'm not a very good singer, but I can sing. Most of us, if not all of us, can sing. I can play a little bit of the piano, a little bit of the violin. I'm a little bit musical when it comes to instruments. I've got rhythm. I can dance. I can learn a step routine in the fitness class really quite well and quite easy. I think I'm musical. I think I use music in my life a lot. I like to listen to music. I love music. I'm going to put a little bit of color on page 1. You don't have to color anything specific, just put color on there. But if you're not musical, don't put any color on page 1. Number 2, do I talk a lot? My wife says you never shut up. Color goes on number 2. If you're one of those quiet people, you don't say much, no color on 2. Number 3, words. I'm making things like books all the time. I was a teacher librarian at one point in my life. I used computers a lot. I used a lot of words. Yep. I can even write poetry. Number 4, thinking. Am I good at problem solving? If I'm faced with, by the way, I have a wasp's nest in my tree out the front. And every time I walk by the tree, the bees or the wasps or the hornets or whatever they are flying down trying to get me. At least I think they are. And my wife said, let's get rid of that. So I thought, I know how to do that. I'll look it up to make sure my steps in how to get rid of that wasp's nest is correct. But I'm a problem solver. Why would I make this book just to remember about Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences? It's because I'm a problem solver. If you're not a problem solver, don't put color on that page. And number 5, fitness instructor, that's me. I have a YouTube channel on exercise and fitness and wellness. And it's called Silver Fox Fitness on YouTube. And I have, I think, 800 videos on there. I started just before COVID, and I'm still making them. And I teach fitness at almost 80 years old at the YMCA and have for almost 30 years. So I guess I'm number 5 for sure when it comes to intelligences. Number 6, pictures. I love pictures. I'm a painter. I can paint. Yes, pictures. I like to see. I'm a visual learner too. Oh my gosh. You know how people are either they listen, they're an auditory learner, a visual learner, or a kinesthetic learner with their hands? Well, I'm a visual learner. I get number 6 too. I get color on number 6. Are you? Don't put color on it unless you are. Number 7, emotions, feelings. I don't cry. No matter how sad it is, I just don't seem to cry. Do I get angry? Not very often. Embarrassed? Nope. Do I laugh a lot? Can be really funny. Seinfeld sometimes makes me laugh, but it takes Seinfeld to do it, that show on TV. No matter how funny. I hate watching these comedy people because it's just, they're not funny. So no color gets the feelings. I don't even like hugging and kissing. Yeah. Okay, what was the other one? There was one inside the book here. Animals. I have a cat. I've always had cats. I love cats. I went to Africa with my wife just to see the Serengeti in Tanzania. That's a country. Serengeti's a large place where all the animals that you could ever want to see are there. Well, not all of them. I mean, there's the animals in the Amazon jungle in South America. I went there too. I spent a month living in a scientific research lodge up in a tree with my wife just so we could experience the animals and plants of the Amazon jungle. Oh my gosh, lots of color. on number 8. And number 9, do I use all of these intelligences at the same time, or some of them anyway, to solve my problems of the world? I'm trying to. I couldn't do that unless I knew what they were, so I could study them a little bit more in detail to figure out how to be smart in those different ways. And I do that too. That's problem solving, number 7. So anyway, I think I'm an existentialist too. I'm going to give myself some color there too. I hope you did the color, no color with me, because here's why it's important. I close my book up now, and then I look through my book and go, you know what? The only page, the only intelligence I didn't put color on was number 7, the feelings one. And I need to improve on that intelligence, my emotions. So I'm going to figure out how I can be more feeling oriented toward everything that's happening around me. Do I get angry when I hear about what Donald Trump is doing to the world? Not at the moment, but maybe I should. Should I laugh more? Of course. I need to calm down sometimes so that I can sleep and I can just be happier. So, have you done that? Are you good at all of them and you've got color on every page? All right, now how are we going to use this? Well, the next time you're in a group, which is always, like you might have a relationship with someone, you might have children, great-grandchildren, friends, maybe you belong to a club, a book club or something, maybe you have a job, maybe you work with people, maybe everybody that's human, like it or not, and I say everybody, has to have a relationship with something or somebody. And in order to do that, you might need their multiple intelligences to make you live longer. If you can't figure it out, and you've got somebody close by who can, like since I don't have very many feelings, I'm going to hang around with my wife as much as possible because she's overflowing in the feelings. So she can help me balance myself better. So work with people who have the intelligences that you don't have, and then you'll be more balanced and more complete, and you will live longer, according to Howard Gardner. And I think he was right. So good luck, and maybe you could share your little intelligence book with somebody else that you really care for. Until next time.